You can 10x your productivity as a future solicitor. Let's look at how you can do it. So, what's this about the idea of increasing your productivity? And how is it at all possible to increase your productivity not by twice or three times, but by 10 times? Well, I have certainly done it over the course of 20-year practice. And I'd add an important point, which is that if you're not doubling, tripling, perhaps incrementally, over a number of years, your productivity, then you simply won't keep up. The reality is now that technology enables us to make exponential gains in productivity. So not as it was maybe 50 years ago, where everything was productivity levels were more or less all the same between different lawyers. No, you will see certain lawyers who do at least 10 times more in terms of output, efficiency, or when measured by pretty much any metrics than other lawyers. So how is this possible? Well, I have done it personally, not through just working harder, longer hours, but through the use of technology, as I say. So let's just switch back to the slide. Now, the first one, as trivial as this may seem, it's call scheduling. Now, I, in my own practice, found this. You may not be aware of this because you're at this stage of your career. You're not yet a solicitor, perhaps, or you're just starting. But as a lawyer, at least half of my time was spent on call scheduling. What I mean by this, and it sounds remarkable, but what I mean by it is this: someone sends you an email, "Can you assist with this?" You email back, say, "Yes, shall we have a call?" The third email says, "Yeah, what times are you available?" The fourth email says, "Yeah, I'm available at these times. What time would be best for you?" The fifth email then says, "Yeah, I can do that time, but not that time." Sixth email says, "Yes, yeah, let's go for that time." Seventh email, "That's fine. I'll send you a diary invite." Eighth email, "Yes, that's confirmed." Then that's without rescheduling, right? Ninth email, "Sorry, I'm going to be, maybe I can't do that particular time after all. I've had a diary conflict." And it just goes on and on and on. Now, that's just one client. That's no problem, right? But imagine, but times that by 20, 30 clients, 50 clients, depending on how many people you're servicing. Or it may be one client, but with multiple stakeholders within it. And that's just dealing with one person, right? Forget about if there's someone else involved, a three-way call or four-way call or five-way call, as I often have with clients. Now, I had this wonderful opportunity, a person that I met who just said, "Look, have you seen this software? It's called scheduling software. I didn't even know it existed." So I checked it out and I realized that you can have a link, a special link that you send someone, and you can say, "Look, you pick a time from my diary." You can have certain available slots. You pick a time. And if there's someone else joining the call, then can you pick a time that suits you and that other person? So they have to liaise with the other person, right? Ultimately, there's only so much you can do, right? You've got to be focusing on things like actually giving legal advice, advocacy, and so forth. Instantly, my productivity doubled. Why? Because all of that time that was otherwise spent scheduling calls was saved. Now, why, you may ask, well, why wasn't that just dealt with by clerks and, in my experience as a barrister or in a law firm, in a solicitor's firm, by a legal secretary, let's say? Well, it's all very well, but even if there's another person, sometimes if someone else is scheduling your calls, they still need to liaise with you about it, check your diary times, and it's not fully automated. So now I can totally eliminate that function. I need minimal support, absolutely minimal support, because I've automated everything through the use of software. Everything, I say, almost everything through the use of software, except, of course, the delivery of legal services, which is what we want to focus on. Now, if someone had told me about this at the beginning of my career 20 years ago, to be fair, I don't think call scheduling software existed then. But if I'd known about this earlier, oh my goodness, the amount of time, hours, when you add it up, weeks or months that I could have saved myself and freed myself up for other more valuable activities. It just hurts to think about it. Now I'm telling you this now at the beginning of your career as a solicitor, whatever stage you are, that I'm telling you this now, which is almost like that would have been a great gift to me at the beginning of my career. And of course, there's these technological advances like this. Call scheduling software in the form that it exists now, I don't think it has actually been around for many years. But you can instantly double your productivity. Now, let's say, you're not worried about that. It's going to be dealt with by legal secretaries or whatever. Okay, let's have a think about that. Your competitor will, I'm telling you now, you'd be using call scheduling software, and they will not have the administrative expense of having to use a secretary. Now, of course, legal secretaries can be used for many other things, right? There's brilliant legal secretaries who can who often do a lot of work, particularly legal executives who often do a lot of substantive work. But it liberates them as well up for more high value legal support activities. So it helps everyone basically. If your competitor is doing it, and their legal secretaries or legal executives' time is spent up on this kind of call administration, if you like, sorting out calls, then if your legal secretary is spending time on that and your competitor is not, then you're going to be at a very significant disadvantage, very significant. So it sounds super trivial, call scheduling. You think, how could that possibly take up so much time? Trust me, when you get into practice and you have a few clients, you'll realize what a suck on time it is if you actually measure it up. Obviously, these are little, so it's 30 seconds email, 2 minutes of emails, but they significantly add up. Now so that's the first way you can double your productivity. Now the other point is this. Again, on the face of it, it sounds super simple, perhaps trivial, but it's your monitors. When I got a second monitor, my productivity doubled. I was shocked by it. Now, how is this possible? You don't immediately see it, but when you add up all of the time that it takes to switch between windows, go from one window to the next window, and close and open apps and all this kind of stuff. Add a second monitor and it will double your productivity. You can only, if you haven't done it already, those who have got a second monitor will know what I'm talking about. Those who haven't, it may sound like almost absurd, but it works. You can trust me on this one. Now, what I did is I thought, hang on, if I add a second monitor, my productivity doubles. What happens if I get a third monitor? Would the same principle apply? And lo and behold, it did to some extent. Maybe my productivity didn't double again, but it significantly increased. Each time, of course, after your second monitor, there's a diminishing return on your productivity improvements. But there is undoubtedly an improvement each time. So that's the next thing. And that's an easy fix right now, especially now you can pick up second monitors pretty easily. Just a quick pro tip, okay? Quick pro tip is that the monitors that I use are 5K monitors with Retina displays on Apple, within the Apple ecosystem. And that, if you've ever moved from 4K to 5K, you'll realize the strain on your eyes is significantly less from having a 5K monitor because of the crystal clear clarity. So, if obviously I couldn't afford that when I started out, or a few years ago, I wouldn't have been able to afford that. But it's something. It's an investment if you can afford it into a 5K second monitor. Plus, for all you PC guys and girls, get onto onto Apple, right? It's just so much better. Important aspect of productivity is which operating system you're using. So now the other one is touch typing. Touch typing can double your productivity easily. if you just on the basic level, if you can type twice as fast, and you'll complete your task twice as fast. Often we can think much faster than we can type. But if, as in my case, I can type so fast that it's as fast as I can think, then yeah, you will double your productivity. Now, what happens if you combine all of these three? You will have an exponential increase in productivity. If you haven't done it and your competitors doing it, they will have a significant advantage over you. So I hope that helps. Some tips for you as a future solicitor. I wish you the very best in your journey as a future solicitor and in the SQE exam. Check out our SQE preparation course, which is, I think, the best available, with diagrams, videos, and making it as efficient as possible for you to prepare for the exam. Also, check out our course for newly qualified solicitors, soon to be released, which goes in much more detail about how you can make a success of your career as a solicitor. Thanks so much. Check out the link below, and bye for now.